All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Raha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the elect men who are pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking their lives and livelihoods in so doing. Okay? The men who the Lord sent, all right, uh, called to do this work, all right. And shalom to the women and children who watch and learn from these lessons, all right. So um, here it is, bam, and you say, all right, now, inside joke, but all right, here we go. Yeah, man. The Gentile the what, I don't know what they call them, the heathens receiving salvation is spreading like wildfire, man. And yes, now you have the women who have picked up the baton, who have grabbed the baton, and now they're running, okay, with what Hakah and Assad and the rest of these Israelites have dropped the ball and not, all right, or either they just either they drop, it's either they drop the ball uh greatly, or they understood and knew what they were doing. This is in an agenda, all right, because now on other media sites you have people saying God is not just the God of the Jews but also the Gentiles too. Now it's sad and it's sickening. It's sickening and sad, all right, that our people would want these other nations to be saved. And this just goes to show, even with Hakah and Assad, this goes to show that these individuals are, you know, uh, you know, uh, sure, they're, you have to be of the house of David, man. Okay, and so, um, there's so many ways to start and look at this, man. Let's go to Psalms 83 real quick, real quick. Okay, you other Israelites like to say that real quick, real quick. All right. Um, come on. It's taking all day to load up. Yeah, it's taking all day to load. But anyway, go to Psalms 83 real quick. I mean, you people, man. I'll do it in the NLT. Forget it. Since it's on the NLT, I'm going to do it in the NLT. All right. Psalms 83 and 2. I'm going to start at 2. And it says, okay, Psalms 83 and 2. All right, so we just nip this in the bud. It says, don't you hear the uproar of your enemies? Okay, I'll start at 1. Okay. She says, God is not just the God of the Jews, but also the Gentiles as well. Okay, or 2. And yes, there's the Most High created all the nations, all right? But what if he created one for honor and one for destruction? Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. And if I can remember it, I'll go back to it. If not, just keep it in mind and you revisit it, all right? But anyway, we're moving on. Psalms 83 and 1 says, a song, a psalm of Asaph. O power, do not be silent. And this is the NLT, okay? So that's why it's going to sound like this. Do not be silent. I normally read the KJV, but anyway, I'm going to do it here Okay, do not be silent. Do not be deaf. Okay, do not be quiet, O power. Okay, and the power is Yahweh. Okay, and Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Why, Yahweh Shai. All right, that's our power. That's our resource. Okay, only for the children of Israel. Okay, and that's why this song is going out. Okay, now again, verse 2. Don't you hear the uproars of your enemies? And the bad thing about it is most of these people are Old Testament people, all right? Her name is Pu Avati, okay? And Esau ultimately gets to these women, or I don't even know if she's really an Israelite. A lot of these Christians, they'll start saying that they're Israelites just to spread this weak ass doctrine that they're trying to spread, okay? In Psalms 83, it cuts it, okay? It cuts the other, the heathens being the Gentiles that salvation is for. Now she provided some scriptures, and we could go into them scriptures as well. But it says right here, Psalms 83, don't you hear the uproars of your enemies? Okay. Don't you see that your arrogant enemies are rising up? Okay. So the Lord of our power, the one creator, his son, okay, their enemies are rising up, okay, against him, all right, against his people, okay. The Lord is not going to go against King David, okay. Says they devise crafty schemes against your people. They conspire against your precious one. And who was that he's talking about? He's talking about the Israelites. Okay? When King David comes back, he's going to be king over all people, but he's not going to be fucking with these other nations. When he was here, he wasn't fucking with those other nations, man. He was heavily against them. All right? Now he had some some dealings with other. He wasn't just smashing every nation. He had some dealings with other nations, but he was pro-Israel. All right. And here's his account. He says, "Come," they say, "let us wipe out Israel as a nation." So this is what they're saying. Let us wipe out Israel as a nation. And you people that are saying that these heathen will receive salvation, and they got a spot, whatever their spot may be glamorous, or maybe of a higher status, or in the kingdom is totally off, man. These people gonna be getting their ass whooped, man. Trust me. They gonna be getting their ass. You think Jake going against Jake like this? Listen, man, the condition that our people are in here in Babylon the Great, you don't see what these other nations have done. It's been done by a extended period of time. Okay? Now this girl, she's probably 21, 22, 23, probably dealt with an Israelite dude. She has no understanding. The dude that she probably dealt with is probably her age or younger. They don't understand history. They're not historians. Okay, just like Assad and Hakah, all right? They're not historians. They're not serious historians. They do what they do for a check. One thing that stuck out to me is when they were when they were going against the IUIC, and and Hakah told Assad, he said, "Man, you could retire if you took out this guy or that guy." Talking about Nathaniel. All right, you could write a book and retire. Okay, so that's what these guys are. You know, trying to you know make it comfortable for themselves, man. All right. And a lot of these other Israelite groups who are pussyfooting, okay, when it comes to this topic, man. So this is what these nations are saying, okay, all of them. Come, they say, let us wipe out Israel as a nation. We will destroy the very memory of its existence, and that's what they've done in the earth. That's why you can't, you know, from the 50s, it took a tedious task. It took the spirit to reach out via Abba Bibbins on down, all right, to the apostles, okay, to go through great lengths and labor in this truth, okay, and before the computer age, man. Before the computer age, this has been hidden by all of these nations, the history. And then, you'll get where you catch, a few of these historians, and you catch them somewhere and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, it really doesn't matter if you're the Israelites or not, because, we see who's in power. Okay. And I don't mean to really get loud like that, but, you know, and she's laughing like, but anyway, so these other nations have said, come, let us wipe them out, wipe out their memory out of existence. And that's what they did, okay, until Abba Bivens rose up, okay, and, through the process of time, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you had one West, and, what developed from one West, all right, the great millstone, all right, out of, all of these Israelite camps to carry the torch, all right, to be that sign, all right. So anyway, it says, verse 5 says, yes, this was their unanimous decision, okay, a unanimous decision. Let's see what unanimous means, all right, real quick. Come on, etymology, come on. I want to look it up. Oh, man. I can't spell it. Unanimous. 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 All right. Agreeing in opinion or resolution. All right. 1610. Okay. From Latin, unanimous, of one mind in union. So they were all together in one mind. All of these nations were together in one mind to destroy God's, who you ignorantly call God in Jesus Christ, to destroy their people. Okay? Anonymous, mind, spirit. Okay? And you meaning one. Okay, see, anonymous, related. Okay? So let me go back to that scripture. So they came together, these nations came together and made a unanimous decision. All right? All of them were together. They signed a treaty as allies against you. They said, we're not going to war with each other no more. No, we're signing a treaty and we're going to work against these Israelites until we take them down. until we got to get rid of these niggas. All right, that's what they said. Now these are the nations. These Edomites, okay, and Ishmaelites, Moabites, and Hagarites. All right, Gebalites, Ammonites, and Amalekites, and the people from Philistia and Tyre. Assyria has joined them too, okay, and is allied with the descendants of Lot. All right, due to them, okay. So this is what David is saying, man. He said, "Do to them as you did to the Midianites, and as you did to Caesarea and Jabin at the Kishon River." Okay? What happened to them? They were destroyed at Endor, and their decaying corpse fertilized the soil. So when King David comes back, do you think he's going to have a different attitude than that which the one that he had? Do you think it's going to switch and turn over? Did their attitude switch and turn over? Look at you, okay? Look at the condition that you're living in 2025. All right? See, you Jakes, man, you don't know what sharecropping is. You don't retrace your steps that you've taken, your journey. You don't know the journey that you've had here in the West. Okay? You just know that you tooted it up and get cracked from the back. All right? You got to a man, he got some money, and he gave you goodies, and you jumped on the internet to spread what knowledge that he told you, but you're dead wrong. All right. So she provided a scripture, Romans 3:29. Is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. So we've been through that a million times, man. All right, a million times. Okay. So we're not going to, there's over 4,000 videos of that. She didn't even look for a video on it. She didn't care because,
talk about, but they're still my brothers. Ooh, y'all, this morning, I'm up on this good Saturday, and I'm reading in the book of Romans again. Y'all know I love this book. I be telling y'all all the time. And, it's just mind-boggling that a lot of my people of my own nation still can't seem to be okay with the fact that God is allowing other nations to come unto the gospel of Christ, be saved for the remission of their sins, and continue their own end, walking in righteousness. But anyway, just a few days ago, I had made a video about how being a Hebrew Israelite or a Hebrew Israelite, being that is not about being a part of a group or anything like that, as you guys see the camps. Those are my brothers and sisters. I don't agree with what they talk about, but they're still my brothers and sisters. I am not a part of no camp. I am under a grace, okay? I'm not under no camp, all right? However, people took that as like me.
See, she's under grace. So, and she wants the other nations to be under grace too. She's talking about them sinning. They're gonna have a remission. What sin? They weren't in Egypt under slavery, under bondage. The Lord didn't make a covenant with them. So what sin do they need to repent for? Okay, from find that. Okay, what sin do they need to to recover from? Okay, we are under sin now. Now, when we come into power and lay down the law, okay, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, then when they do some crazy stuff, which they're going to do, then they will sin. Okay, but now they're not sinning. Okay, the only thing that they're guilty of at this time is coming under one consent, going against the Israelites. Okay, which you saw what the judgment, what the verdict for that was. Okay, by King David. All right, so okay. And I could go through that, and I'm not, man. I'm not, man. We went through that too many damn times. All right. Uh, uh, okay. Okay, it's still in the NLT, so let me go to the KJV. Let me see. Let me see. Now, we just, we go through these scriptures just for edification purposes. Like she said, she's not going to get it. She's not going to get it regardless, okay? So she's at Romans 3 and 29. So we're going to go to Romans 9 and 22, okay? It says, what if God, willing to show his wrath, okay, and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. All right. Now let's look at that in the NIV. Okay. Where is it at? It should have just went to it, and it just went to something different when I went to that. Went to the same scripture. Romans 9:22. This is in the NIV. It says, what if God, although choosing to show his wrath and make his power known, bore with great patience the objects of his wrath prepared for destruction? All right. What if he did this to make the riches of his glory known to the objects of his mercy, whom he prepared in advance for glory? And who were prepared in advance for glory? The Israelites. Okay? We were. Okay? Even us. Okay? Whom he called. Not only from the Jews, but also from the Gentiles. And when it's saying from the Gentiles, That's meaning from among the heathen nations, but they are Israelite people. Okay? And to solidify that, it says in verse 26, it says, in the very place where it was said to them, you are not my people. And where was it said that we were not his people? Here in America. Okay? And in other countries around the world. It was said that ye are not my people. Okay? It says, there they will be called the children of the living God, the Israelites. Okay? The Israelites. Okay? The princes of the power. All right? And again, reading on, Isaiah cries out concerning Israel. Okay? Though the number of the Israelites be like the sand by the sea, only the remnant will be saved. All right? So that's who's going to receive salvation, the remnant. All right? A remnant will be saved. Okay? Saved from what? Saved from destruction here in America with 2/3 of you people. And you Israelites, you're too concerned with the world. I can see it in her face. She's happy, but she's an Israelite. But maybe because she likes a guy that's an Israelite. And the scripture says that the unbelieving wife will make it will make it through the believing husband. All right. Uh, but I mean that could be the case, and that could not be the case. All right. It's up to ultimately it's up to the Most High. All right. Because some of these bitches just need to go. All right. They just dirty hoes. All right. At the end of the day. Um. So the argument that she made, as you can see, just really quick without doing no 3 hour video, is out of is no way possible. Okay, and she was wrong in thinking that the Gentiles were talking about the heathens. All right, because King David stressed it in Psalms 83rd chapter. Look, those they had a unanimous decision to come against the Most High and His people to put us out of the earth. Okay. They tried to do away with the Messiah. What you gonna do to somebody that tries to kill your son? Okay, your daughter, your mother, and your father. You're gonna totally annihilate that individual. All right, but not all Israel gets down like that. Okay, uh, as you can see, they're concerned with the world. Okay, they want to be politically correct. A lot of these people have taken money or taken some type of favor or something. All right, in order for everybody to just pop up now. A lot of people are popped up on the internet going against the Genesis Israelites. Okay, a lot of people have made videos against them, who are not part of the Great Millstone. Okay, there are videos that are up, okay, of other Israelites going against the Genesis, but you do have these other Israelites who heard that, and now they're trying to come and run. Why do y'all want these other nations to be so? You don't even like your own brother and sister. Most of you don't even like your own brother and sister. Okay. Here you talking about you don't even like the camps, and without the camps, you would have been even known or recognized as an Israelite. You would have been going to that uh, Sunday class, and because they still let you celebrate, because you still celebrate Thanksgiving and New Year's and all of that stuff, and you gonna party, but you people are all up in it. Okay, her best crush. Okay, whatever you got the crush. Okay, these girls be crushing on people. It's a nigga in the world, man. Okay, she probably has an Israelite husband, but her crush is a worldly nigga. Okay, so um, I just picked this up and just thought that I'd address it real quick. Um, so again, it's no way, man. It's no way possible that you people could insert that, man. All right, nothing's going. It's like when you're playing poker, okay, and you got that one hand that nothing beats, okay. Nothing's going to beat, okay, King David having it in for these fucking nations, man, in the kingdom. Okay? Nothing's gonna beat that. You're not gonna pull nothing that says, oh, okay, they're gonna be okay, kind of treated. No fucking way, man. Okay? They're going to be fertilizer for the soil at best. Okay? If they don't get right. So, no. Okay? Romans 3 and 29. Now I could go to Romans 3 and 29 right now. Okay? But again, we've already been through it. All right? It's no big deal. I don't know how many videos are on this. Oh, they now they're gonna say is, oh, he's twisting the scriptures. Okay. Oh, come on, go to it. Here's another thing. Here's another point. Before I get Romans 3 and 20, I'll get Romans. Let me start it up a little bit. All right. Because she just said something about grace. All right. Romans 3 and 24. Being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in the Hamashiach Yahushai. Okay, so who gets the grace? Who is grace for? It's only for the Israelites. Grace is for only the Israelites. Redemption is for somebody who needs to be redeemed. Grace is if I pay my bills all the time and my bills are paid, I don't need grace. If I never got a credit card or got into debt, I don't need grace. And the heathens, they don't need grace. Not yet. They're going to need it in the kingdom. But now they don't need it. They don't need redemption now. Dunce, I just went over these words like dunce and dull with it, dim with it. Okay? Numbskull. And that's her all day. Just running, just popping off at the mouth, running her lips, man. Breath probably stink. Whom the Most High has set forth to be a proposition. Okay? Through faith in his blood to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins. Now, who can sin? Only the Israelites can sin. All right? Yes, only the Israelites can sin. All right? That are passed, okay? Through the forbearance of the power. All right? To declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, that he might be just, and the justifier of him which believeth in Yahushua. So what do the heathen need to believe in Yahushua for at this point? The heathen is living in Iran. The heathen is living in Australia. They're sitting up drinking watermelon mojitos, and watching, the nigga dunk the basketball, jumping 30 feet off the ground, and then, living next door to him, who does whatever. That. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Where is the boasting then? It is excluded. By what? Law of works? Okay. No, but by the law of faith. All right. And so the heathen don't have to have faith, man. They don't have to have faith. We do. Okay. We are not in our land. Dum dum. All right. It's more than a Chinese dish. So, therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. All right. And so the heathen, they don't have faith in Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. No, they don't. Okay. That's lip service. They're just, worshiping something. But they worship what they know not. Okay. We know what we worship because salvation is of the Jews. Look at those low rates. All right. Verse 29 for the numbskull. Is he the God of the Jews only? Now, who are the Jews? Now, the Jews are the people who are keeping the laws. All right. They know, they're the people, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, okay, and of that sort, okay, people living in the land, all right, knowing very full well who they were at that time, okay. Yes, okay, wait. Is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. All right. So, scriptures say, keep your yeas your yea, and your nays your nay. All right. So, it's funny that it says, is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? It says of the Jews only, but it says yes, of the Gentiles also. So he's the God, he's the power that operates, all right, in behalf, okay, of the Israelites, all right. But he also created the heathens, all right, and the Israelites who are among the heathen, all right, the Israelites who are among the heathen, he is their God. Now, they may not be calling themselves Jews. They may be calling themselves Greeks. They may be calling themselves Romans, okay? Arabians. They could call themselves whatever, but their father's bloodline goes back to the Israelites. And it's just that simple. Okay? Then it goes on, Seeing it is one God, okay, there's only one God. He created all the nations, all right? But it's not dealing with all of the nations. It's only dealing with the Israelites. It's only referring to the Israelites in these texts, all right? Seeing it is one God which shall justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law, okay? Because the law was good, okay? The law is good, all right? The law is not, it's troublesome in an environment where it's where it doesn't fit, okay? You go when someone has an all white party and you go in and you're wearing blue and green, okay? To, the law of that party was, to wear all white, but you came in wearing, blue and green. So you broke the law, okay, of the grounds of that party. Okay. So and it is just that simple. This is just, they Jake want to save everybody. The black man is in trouble, man. Okay, so-called black man, and I'm talking about all the tribes when I say so-called black men. All right, we're not black. We have to stress that, but I don't like to confuse new listeners. All right, somebody who might stumble upon the video. When we're saying black, there's no color of people black. Okay, that is a negative label. Okay, part of the narrative that this devil has used to keep us dumbed down. All right, and that's why the so-called black woman loves him. The so-called black man or Israelite man, okay, has received nothing but oppression here in the West, and that comes from his woman. Okay, she's been taught to oppress him as well, and that's why they want to save the Gentiles. They want to save everybody, but you men, you upright men, okay, because you won't let them have fun in the world, okay. And remember, girls just want to have fun. So I'm not going to entertain this anymore. Okay? They get the point. They know what it is. All right? They just lack discipline. But when all hell breaks loose, okay, and that funky sewage smelling individual snatching them by their weave and bending them over, okay, smelling like urine and funk, okay, and he plunges his rod into their dirty walls, all right, and passes them around a couple of times, then they'll get it. They'll get it, and it won't be all that laughter anymore, okay. So anyway, Lord willing, you were edified, and I had to get graphic because times we're about to get, crunch time is around the corner, man. Okay, crunch time is around the corner. Okay? No man knows the day. All right? So with that being said, till next time, Shalom.